Hello, R J Dent here in my library, and I'm going to be talking about one book which, as you can see, is Don Quixote by Miguel de Cervantes. There are two. I've got two versions. One of them, we'll look at this. We'll look at this one first. This is the. It says in the Great Putnam translation. Now Samuel Putnam translated this particular one. As you can see, it looks quite an old edition, and it is. It's an old-fashioned translation. It's got its own qualities and quirks, and it's very enjoyable to read. And if you want to read it, it's a good version. However, if you want to get the full glory and power of Don Quixote, this is the one to read. This Edith Grossman translation. It's lively, it's up to date, it's modern. It catches all the subtleties of Cervantes' prose, all the nuances, and it's a beautiful translation. I think it's the best one. I've read 3 different versions of Don Quixote, and this is the best one. Now the story itself, if you don't know it, it's about Don Quixote, an old chap who's been reading romance fiction and chivalrous novels, novels of chivalry, you know, like Walter Scott, people like that, and he decides to go off on a quest really around the country of Spain, and has adventures. But of course it's not of that time anymore. You know, it's a sort of a modern era, and so he doesn't fit in, and he has a whole series of strange encounters and adventures. He's a little bit odd, but the story itself is just wonderful. It's in 2 parts. The first part is when he's having adventures, and then in the second part he has a rich patron who provides him with an adventure park to go. So it's it's a very strange novel in that the first part is him roaming free, and then the second part it's almost like he's incarcerated. He's not, but it's like he is, and again that raises questions of its own. Anyway, I would recommend that everyone read this book. It is a wonderful novel. It's probably one of the best novels ever written. Don't make that claim lightly, and this Edith Grossman translation is the best translation, in my opinion, that is available to buy at the moment. And I think if you're going to start with Don Quixote, that's the one to start with, that particular translation.